everyone, so this is Munazza Azam, as you all know, and I think I don't need my introduction anymore because if anyone is not like, किसी को नहीं पता तो मेरा नाम Google कर ले, my name is Munazza Azam. Okay, so we have Hammad Sef with us, and I don't want to add my flares for his intro. I want him to introduce himself to us. So, Hamad, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Munazza. Well, good that we are having this session. I think we discussed a lot of things which should be there and we should talk about it. Regarding me, uh, well, I am not someone to be talked about, but yeah, let's say just a little. I've been into professional life for almost 10 years now, actually more. But and also I've been attached to IT industry mostly. Currently, I am working as a product owner with a UK-based company. It's a startup, and I'm working with them as a product owner. So basically, Scrum, product ownership, and project management, and IT consultancy. Basically, it's my forte. I've been doing it for quite some time, and that's what I sort of my passion is actually. I would say, apart from cars, automobiles is that's one.
Me too. I love real estate and automobiles.
Well, real estate is not in my books. I've been pushed a lot by people to go into real estate, but it's something I don't know. I don't connect, to be honest.
Okay, I can relate that because maybe it's very upfront selling in real estate. Maybe. And automobiles is like you need to show.
Oh, there's so much money.
Oh yes, it has so much money. You already whoever is in sales and whoever understands the flavor of money and the taste of money, so I can relate. And automobiles, it's like it's a next level game. Like you have to show the beauty. You have to show that beauty. Standing right in front of you, the cars, the tires, the headlights, or whatsoever. We cannot describe the features. So if I would say, let's begin with in an easy way. What's your favorite car? And who's your favorite company that you would get?
BMW M3 GT. Well, you can say BMW M3, the model all-time favorite, and since the beginning.
Okay. And recently I fall for Audi A5. Okay. So.
No. So the thing is, you see, it's actually connectivity as well. So I am been an automobile fan for a long time. I've been in the automobile industry for almost 6 years as well. So I've worked with Japanese exporting companies, exporting, actually taking care of the whole operations, exporting across the globe. So it's because of my passion also. Thing is, with BMW, they are very much good in automation and technology. So you can see the connection as well. I'm very much into tech, and again, it's also related. Although it's a favorite car, or even if not techy, but again, that's a you can say just an over thing over the car. There isn't a tech thing, so it's a layer over the layer.
I can understand we don't want to clutter our passion without working with it, because I think the passion itself, it's self-soothing thing for me, and I have different hobbies. Like I converted into it suddenly converted out into money making point for me, and I started living for that. Coming back to our main topic, so our main topic is today. IT merger with business, and we all know it's a new world order. That's what we have been hearing pretty from past 5 years before having this COVID, and now the 2021, it's right in the corner, and if we can go back in our 2020, we were pretty much excited about it's a new year and we'll be having 2020 plans, and unfortunately we found ourselves ducked in our houses, and having eating and sleeping, and keeping ourselves safe. So when it comes to Pakistan, I want you to share. I'm in Pakistan, and my industry entirely was in event management. But when we see that there is a need now about sales, and my forte, like, always been into sales, so I thought to come up with something for the people right now, for my people, for my nation, where I could add my value, because I used to get more queries for business development for the companies instead of events. And I think that was a need. While in COVID, I got 2 to 3 calls from some companies, and they were asking me to share my data log and everything, which I was pretty hard for me to tell them again and again, like, dude, yes, I am in sales, but I'm in sales with my events, and doing business development is something else, and doing an event is something else, because I'm 101% sold out to events right now. So if you have something to talk about, let's talk about events. So then I found out it's an opportunity for me. If somebody is knocking me with a new opportunity, I think I should take it and grab it. So then I thought, instead of giving out my you know potential to someone else, I think I should gather my potential one more time, and begin with something new. So in that manner, I made Armia. Armia basically, is a word which is exact meaning is a warrior, and the entire theme of Armia based on the warrior, and we all are corporate players. So I think it's been now 4 months that Armia is doing smooth, and I'm sure that I have to. That's my another second venture, and I'm sure that I have to work a lot in it. So, and talking with different people helps me a lot to understand what is happening out in the market. So that's why I'm having you right now, Hammad, to share your insights. And I do have some questions with me, which I really want you to answer, and also differentiate the technicality of living in abroad. And if you come back and forth in Pakistan, what do you think about how Pakistan is going with IT, and what are the lacking that we really need to focus for? So
Well, yes, thank you. Definitely, it's something we need to talk about. And yeah, I missed to mention I'm currently in Netherlands, as I said. So there is a drastic difference I always notice. I would love to do things for the betterment in technology in Pakistan, because there's always a connection, whether if I'm staying out. Uh, but the thing is, there are some things which are missing, and there are things which usually, if startups or different people want to do, uh, there are there are so much barriers that has been created that you are actually not being able to enter that path. So, well, you asked me what. Let's start from what exactly is the difference. The biggest difference actually is the mindset. The m- that is the most important thing which we need to build. It's not just the companies; it's also the people who are working, the developers who are working, the business development people, and the project managers who are actually or the team leads, whatever, who are actually looking after the whole projects or their teams. So the whole mindset actually has to change from top to bottom. Unfortunately, we have been working into an environment which is always like, let's say, under pressure, or you are actually, or and the new generation is also actually accustomed to do things like that. So even if they listen to something new, the the actual potential of accepting change is so low that they think, oh no, this is going to be wrong, because there is no change management processes going on. There's a standard procedure which everyone is carrying out,
Mm.
and they think this is how it works. And actually, that is a big lack. Change of mindset is something we need to do from top to bottom. The owners need to rely and trust their employees and the people who are working, and it's reciprocal. The employees and the people who are working needs to trust the employers as well, and it goes hand in hand. You cannot do like that. Okay, if employer is trusting you and you just take it for granted. No, it does not work like that, and the same goes for the employer as well. So that if we go on that change of mindset, then the leadership comes in actually, because then you people need to lead by example, then people follow. And that helps in the growth, because if for example, I tell you what, recently I'm doing a project in Pakistan with the Pakistani teams. So the developers does not have a concept, the new trend, the change, how we should develop an iterative product. Well, there is a concept. I'm not saying that it's altogether not there, but it is only trending in some big companies who have people actually from abroad or something like that, who have connections with abroad. But it's not into startups or in actually upcoming developers. So they think that no, they have to ask everything. They have to be pressurized to do work. So if you don't pressurize them, they take it for granted and just leave it. This mindset for the team as well, I think, should change. They need to take responsibility. And if they started doing it, it goes again hand in hand. I said everything goes hand in hand. So I think that is one very important aspect where I would like to. But let me take it to you. You have done a lot of things. You have done your startup. You are into event management. You have done some really controversial projects. Um, Apart from what I said in terms of technology or change of mindset, it's not only actually focused on technology, but it's change of mindset is in common. What do you think? What do you think is actually that needs to change or that needs to be made better? And what exactly is your let's say, talk about your journey with whatever controversial projects you did and whatever no good projects other than that you did, and how did you succeed in this?
Okay. There is always somebody in your surroundings who actually poke you for the change and who actually spoiled you for doing something very different. And luckily, I think I'm one of those luckiest person who found one of my friends and we were sitting and I was on the job. That's what my journey is. I was sitting and we were sipping a tea and he was like, why don't you start your own business when I went, मुझसे नहीं होगा, I can't do it. Trust me, I can't do it. No, you can do it because okay. The best part about the person, he's into his own businesses and he's based in Canada and he is running his own, multiple businesses. So he knew the flair of, the freedom of doing your own work. And I can relate that now. And that moment I was like, I don't have that capacity because I was thinking I was so much into the details instead of starting something. There's always a start of it. We really don't need to get into the details of everything. So, and I was like, I don't have a team. I don't need the vendors. And he knew that moment I was working with the Bari group, one of the bestest people I've worked with, ever best employer ever in my life and career. And I just remember one thing he said, because I was keep on saying no to him that I cannot do that. And he was like, if you cannot do it, I don't know who can. If you're not the one, I don't know who. So, and that just, I remember that last sentence, till my entire life. And one day when I changed my jobs and I was keep on, I was in sales, and my structure for running my own career is about my own responsibility, what I think about myself. Can I achieve this target? I changed from hotel industry to agency and advertising agency, and I heard it's one of the toughest job to do, and blah 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 blah. So I think I can do that. I always there to take the chaos and walk on the chaos, and I want to do it. So that's maybe in my DNA. I don't know. So, and I was responding and I was achieving my targets. And again, I changed my job as a head of PR and communications in one of the magazines. And there, even I was, working well. And suddenly I was sitting and I was just like this. I was sitting and I was thinking, what the hell am I doing with myself? What the hell am I doing with myself? I think I should leave. I think I should leave. And I just stood and I was like, okay, whoever my boss was, I used to take his name. Okay, ABCD, I'm going. And he was like, where? Now I'm resigning and I'm going to go and do my own business. He must be thinking I must have gone crazy. So he was like, when I said, come tomorrow and attend your meetings and then we'll talk about it. And for me, once I've decided something in my life, I'm going to do that. So I understood actually that moment that I own a potential where I could see a bigger horizon for me, and I can do wonders. And the only thing that I remember that if I'm not the one then who can do this thing, and if I'm making millions for other people, why can't I just make it for myself? That was another thing that just got up in my mind. And I started with zero capital. I was not having a single penny, I remember. And I remember what I was supposed to do. And I'm still using that phone. I remember as a memory that I still remember where I belong to. And I just came when I was like, okay, Ammi, I've left this job and I'm going to do my own business. And she was just staring at me. And I did that. And it was one of the hardest thing in my life, that moment. That one entire year, I remember that what I was supposed to do and because there were a lot of necessity for a girl to do and manage with. Like, I remember that I need to manage my transportation. I need to manage my phone bills because I'm in sales. So what I really need to do is to just keep on calling people and getting things done. So, and the target always pretty higher, like in my jobs as well, that I need to hit the biggest company to complete my 1 million target. So, I think it's all about mindset. And we should not hold up. Even if you're doing something, and even if you think that you really want to do something in your life, don't hold up to your ego. And ego comes in the other side of the story, because when you started your own thing, when you get the tag of CEO, you think that everybody is going to salute you and say, hi sir, I'm here to take your services. No, dude, you still need to work like a PM or a janitorial staff or a driver or an accountant, or every single thing that you need to do to get your business grow.
Actually, I think someone has to be on all of these at one time. Actually,
it's jack of all.
True. But let's see, because you said you started with no capital actually, and how do you let people know that how to approach actually the clients? Because see, if you don't have any capital, if you don't have a big approach, if you don't have any political alliances, it's really difficult, especially in Karachi, but overall in Pakistan. So to reach client and to really achieve big targets, to sustain a business, a startup, that's important. We can talk about how you did it and what actually suggestion you will give to different people, because also it is related to what in COVID, a lot of startups who started before COVID are actually struggling to sustain. So actually it comes down to the same thing, that now they don't have enough capital, and how should they do?
Okay, you need to work pretty smartly. you need to hold up. You really need to be hard on yourself. And people say don't be hard on yourself. No, you have to, because you have to accept the realities. You have to accept the punches that you're going to get from clients. It's not like on the very first meeting I closed the deals. No, people used to bully as well. They used to call me multiple times. They used to call me to come again and again and give the pitches. And I remember I have to go, and I was not having money in my pocket because I wasn't doing any job, and I was not taking a single penny since my you know metric, since I've started my own job. And there's another face in my house that she's crazy, and she's one of the blackest sheep in the house, and whatever she say, and she's gone crazy in the end. I don't wanted to give any. I wanted to. It was over a fight against my own self, like myself, and I needed to perform and wanted to put the result in the table in front of my family. That was really, important. And the people who were saying, "Go back, what are you doing? Have you gone crazy? It's one of the hardest things that you have done." And there's a huge competition. Every single Tom, Dick, and Harry, is an event planner. So I was like, I don't care about the competition. If they are the present, maybe I'm gonna be the future. So it's all about in my head. And why I was saying to be hard on yourself, because you need to carry the shield and you need to hold the spear just like a warrior, because that's your war. That's not people's war. That's you who really want to do something in your life. And there are a lot of criticism that you have to bear at the very same point of time. And I remember when people used to say, do you have any office? I was like, no, I don't have any office. Do you have your own car? These are the complexities I'm telling you right now. I was like, no, I don't have any car. Okay, so how do you commute? How do you manage? I was like, it's a digital era. Do I really need an office? No. Everything is on social media, digital media. I just need to be there. You tell me, you give me the work, I'm gonna perform. And talking about the car, if Kareem and Uber is there, why do I need to carry a car? It's one of the heck traffic in this city, in this country. I should be the next person to be fighting middle of the traffic. So I don't want to be that. I know myself. So these were the liners that I used to give him, pretty raw in reality, and I'm not shy of it. And I still remember that I haven't achieved which I actually targeted to achieve with. But yes, I've achieved so far where people do know me. And I think the one finest thing helps you a lot is being confident. That's it. You need to you need to trust yourself that you can do it. And blind faith. And I am humbled that I have very few people in my surroundings who encouraged me. And there's one friend of mine, he's in California, his name is Ramesh, and he said, and where there's always an edge where I'm supposed to say, I can't do it. And he was the one who said, Monelsa, तुम्हारी कश्ती डूबनी होती ना डूब चुकी हो. You still have long way to go. That's all I need. So there's always the challenges. Still, there are many challenges, and whoever is COVID. COVID is one of the things where I remember I put this story on my Instagram, and I just said, this is the right time to start a business. And I get 90% rejection. Like, what is she talking about? And then I thought people don't understand that this is a pretty right time to work on themselves, to read, to start experimenting, to understand what their passions are. And the second thing was, why don't I do that? Let's just experiment on my own self. So I just built this Armia platform. I made my own website. I started doing editing with my, vlogs. It's a pretty first time that I go pretty open about my videos on YouTube, because I'm that sort of a person who want to work hard, but I want to be at the back foot. So I really wanted to be that famous. But now it's a need of every business to be in front. And if people don't know you, they will not gonna buy from you. If people don't know you, they're not gonna buy from you. So this is, I think, the element of being hard on yourself is really important at the same time. And carry your spear and go.
But does it affect being a, sorry, this question, but I think you are in a society where I am going to ask, does it, being a woman, is it different to have such kind of startup or any kind of business actually? And do you face something different?
In Pakistan, doing a business alone as a woman, it's it's like having terrorists in your city and you need to fight. It's one of the toughest job to do. I think it's one of the toughest job. If somebody say that what you have done in your, if somebody say that, oh my God, it's so good to see you that you're doing a business, and from inside, there's a voice inside me, dude, you have no idea what I'm going through with, what I have to face with, how I need to convince and get things done for my own self. So as we are pretty humble to have all type of people and communities living over here, and I respect everybody, but where there's a thing which is crossing your boundaries, you need to knock the door then and there, and you don't need to think that whether you're going to have the project or not. And in my history, whether I'm whether I'm working or whether I'm on a job, or I always used to have a fight with my client and then I get the project. Always.
Okay. Well, good. But what do you suggest for the startups? I mean, do you find anything which needs to be done for the startups? Like, I do have certain ideas, but I would like to know your perspective because you have been helping startups, like with Sell with Armia. Your whole concept is actually what I understand is to do something with startups, right?
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? I mean, what should startups do, and what is the lacking as on a governmental scale, you can say, or on a provincial scale, or whatever, maybe on a financial scale, by what can be done?
I think the financial side of running a startup is, I think, not exactly a big problem because everything. See, the entire industry has a new face. Whether it's a cotton industry or anything, whether we have a labor whatsoever, because in future we're going to see the banking will be the branchless banking. The food will shut down their stuff and will go on digital, just like e-commerce. So I think the digital and IT, these platforms, Zoom, and you name it, Instagram, LinkedIn, this is the only thing that you need to understand is marketing. And Sell with Armia, it's basically telling people how to be a brand ambassador with your own self and for your own product. You don't need to hire a lot of people. And there will be a time in future that we will not be having a lot of people employed with one organizations, because we could see that Starbucks just shut down a lot of franchises because there's a huge recession that we had to face and see. Many big brands, but again, if I would say big brands still have not stopped working on their products. Chanel is still producing, Huda is still producing, Rolex still making their watches, Audi is still producing and making the cars. Now it's going for the
iPhone still bringing iPhones without the headphones and without the charger.
Yeah.
And people are still buying.
Still buying, dude. There's a COVID and yesterday I went for a property project. Like I just said that I'm coming up with a new property side from another side of a business, which is going to be a property side. I've seen 2-bed drawing dining square feet. Some of the square feet I don't remember. Will be costing 6-7 crore. 2-bed drawing dining. And if people are making such big things, they have money. It's just it's just how to make money. But the problem with I will vocal about this, and I am pretty vocal about this thing, that the problem in my nation and in my country is we are way too busy with pretty random things which we don't supposed to. We are being busy in
Stalking people, actually. We are very much busy in stalking people, actually.
we are yeah, we are, and we are pretty busy letting people
Because
down.
because we on social media, actually, that's what we do
Yeah.
mostly.
I'm telling you, there are a lot of differences that I made Armia for Pakistan. I made Armia for Pakistan, but I'm getting queries for Egypt. I'm getting queries for Cambodia, Australia. I had few sessions from Europe. I had two speakers came on board with me having zero, likes on Armia or YouTube subscriber. They still come and just speak about the facts because they understand that what is the right way to support each other. And starting a startup is really really important because we really need to understand one fact of this country, that the future is in the hand of youth, and we are the future. There will be a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs are working at this point who we don't know about our lives, how long we will be living. But again, we do need a good and new breed in entrepreneurship. I believe we do need another Silicon Valley in Pakistan. And that's what I think. And if we start taking our life and time seriously, we could do wonders. We could do wonders.
Well, yeah, but what would I say? That see that what you said has to be done and needs to be done. But unfortunately, what difference I find in Pakistan, in the Pakistani market, and European market, or I will focus on European market actually more right now, because see, yes, we are talking about digitalization in businesses. Um, I do disagree to one of your point where what we will talk about it in terms of workforce limitations. But let's say the thing is, we in Europe, if we look into it, how they actually focus on bringing startups up, or actually they push people to have startups, because that's where the new ideas and creative ideas comes in, and that's how this economy boosts. Because if you look into Europe, there are venture capitalists, there are angel investors, there are personal investors. They invest in ideas, or crowdfunding actually. Also, they invest in ideas. It's all about ideas. It is all about ideas. People have ideas, and I believe we Pakistanis have so much potential in building up ideas.
Trust so much me. Potential. Oh yes, because we talk a lot. We talk a lot and do nothing. We do this.
Yeah, but we have so much ideas. It's we do nothing because of two reasons. One, sometimes we are lazy. The other, some people really want to do it, but they don't have enough resources. And it comes down, that's why I said it comes totally down to monetary or financial aspects. Here, if you have an idea and you don't have a financial aspects, which is actually most of the time, to be honest, if you talk in Europe, because this whole economy is not one focused on big people, and this economy is run in a way that the rich is not going rich and the poor is not going poor. Not everyone has enough ample amount of money to invest in business. So how does this idea come in? How does they are booming? It's all because they have ideas, and there are people who like to invest in ideas, and they build it from there. They help them build it, and then a new thing comes in, and that's how they are booming. That's how they are helping their economy. That is why they give startup visas, because if you have a good idea, they support it.
Plus, even in fact, I am working with new startups. One is in California, second is in Europe. We'll be starting that. We are mid of the strategy based work, and we'll be launching it coming 2021. So, and those are Pakistanis who I'm working with. Pretty pretensive
Mhm.
guys, and they are the ones who actually brought up these ideas over here. And there are a lot of people who's having a lot of potential, but again, when it over come, um, I think it's another thing as well, that whom we are meeting as well in our scenarios, what type of gathering we're sitting and mingling and talking with. Because there are a lot of people who would say don't do this and don't do that even before starting something. And my scenario is start first and think about it later. Just commit first and just think about it
That's
later.
true. That's true.
I'm doing very big things right now, which is I know out of my ball, but at least I want to do it. And I just spoke to somebody yesterday. What if we want to go, live with Dubai and all this? And he was like, no, 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 don't do that. You need to have a huge capitalism. I was like, forget about it, dude. Huge capitalism, this and that, and this and that. At least talk with people. At least cross the boundaries, at
Yes.
least cross the borders, at least
Yes.
dialogue about it, and
We
we'll
don't
see
like
what
to
we
brainstorm.
can do.
That's true. That's true. That's
So
true.
that it's really not important that to speak with everyone. In fact, sharing your idea with the right people is pretty important. Because I remember I have not shared with my business. I only share with the people who are actually doing very well in their lives, who are actually the one who actually took a risk in their life, and they are the
Choosy.
one. Yeah. Oh yes.
You are choosy.
I am. Yes.
Okay. The thing is, what you are right. What I'm talking about is actually, if someone has any idea in Pakistan, let's say, they don't have any, what would you say, any organization or anyone to reach to share that idea, where they can have mentors who can, if not financially, can support them ideally. So, I mean, that needs to happen, because see, if I have an idea, it's my idea. I might have not seen the flaws in it. So there needs to be third person perspective. What, like you said, if I talk it to a friend of mine, they'll be like, "What are you talking about? This is happen. This will happen. You will. How? What is the rate of success? I mean, the rate of success is 10%. That's fine, but
It's fine.
fine tune it. Fine tune it. Make it 30%. Make it 50% by actually brainstorming the idea. And nobody's asking that, oh, you have an idea, start it tomorrow. No, it's rather making it a much more fine-tuned idea and then start it. When you see, okay, now we have certain amount of success rate. I mean, people don't do business because there is even a success rate, a risk of like 20% failure. They said, no, there is a 20% failure rate. I mean, I cannot do this. Why not?
And the pretty urge that they find in taking it even one step, they were like, oh, we are not making money. You're not gonna make money within a year. Dude.
True.
I haven't made
Because
a single
everybody is
penny
talking
from
about money.
Armia. I haven't made a single penny from Armia.
That's see, it's not like you start something and you start making money out of it.
Yeah.
It is not. There is an investment that needs to be done. People take investment just what they did in the initial manner. No, your time is an investment.
Yeah.
The time which passes through the communication you do with people, that's also an investment. You will ripe it later, but nobody understands that part actually. They think, oh, you started this business, you did this one project, oh, this is zero profit. I mean, sometimes you have to bear the loss as well. So, but
initially
them,
you have to face the losses. That's why I just said
Yes.
you have to be hard
Yes.
on yourself, because people are going to rip you off. Trust me, people are going to rip you off. They will not gonna see you
But-
happy. And
Yes.
if I would ask you, and if you contribute in Pakistan, what would be your suggestions to our youth? Which product they could sell digitally? Which product they could come up digitally? Because you know the parallel side of Europe and Pakistan, and you're the right judge to judge about this thing.
No, I'm no one to judge about it. I can always, I can only
Sure about
just give my comment or suggestion. But I'm no one to judge, to be honest. Yeah, when I'll be Jeff Bezos, probably then. Yeah, maybe.
Need to born again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, the thing is that is again, it totally comes down to again mindset. The whole thing is, it's not. If you ask me what I would like to do, there is a project I wanted to launch. But what I learned, actually, I think I also have shared it with you.
Yeah.
We are already doing it in UK, and it's related to students, it's related to universities, and it's related to companies. These are the three most important factors in any economy, actually: the student, universities, and companies. So what else left? So we're trying to build a co-working space, a collaboration platform between three of them. What better thing to do in Pakistan, specifically in COVID, when you don't when you have less face-to-face interaction, less communication? Why not build an infrastructure online where all these people can collaborate? But what happens? Universities in Pakistan are sitting there to make money rather than facilitating students.
Yeah.
So that affects our mental culture, that affects our study culture, that affects everything. And that's why we have students which actually, when come into a professional life, have the same thinking process, that it's just money. Nobody think about ideas, because this idea is, yeah, exactly, this idea is being, actually, a lot of venture capitalists are interested in this idea. A lot of people here in Europe are interested in this idea. Oh yes, this is brilliant. In times of COVID, you're giving a platform to these three bodies to connect without having a hassle, and then you are saving cost on certain things, on papers, on because it's all digital. It's one-time cost. So it's not, you have to go on papers, you have to print out printers and stuff like that. So it's saving cost almost, if not 50%, let's say at least 30%. And 30% is a big cost in these times. But nobody cares. That is the difference, actually. So
do you believe in that? Yeah.
This is how it is.
Do you believe in diversity?
Yes, I do. Very
and
much.
If you're given a chance to choose, you are in IT, and if you get a chance to choose any other side hustle which will pretty diversify from what you're doing right now, what will be your answer? What area of interest will you choose?
My career starts from I started my career from being a product manager for a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
And then I moved towards an automobile industry.
Okay.
And then, IT has always been something I do personally, but yeah. But in these things, I did not do core IT work. These are different works. And then I also worked for event management. I also worked for Pakistan Air Force, taking care of their airmen golf course with Korangi Creek base. So diversification is
I've been there. Very nice.
across my whole professional life. What you would say that why I would do in IT? Because even in IT, what do you see? There's a lot of diversification. You can diversify the most. You can build softwares for financial companies. You can build software for technology companies, for AIs, for the Zoom. Take Zoom as it. It's always diversified. This whole information technology, it's not a focused group, and that's why I like it more.
Like my career always been into the photo, always been into sales, and at the beginning of that era in 2008 and 9, they always confuse sales into marketing.
Yeah, that's true.
They always say,
okay, people still do that.
Yeah, it's a marketing job, but fine. Then I have to sit in the office and do something. No, you have to go out and meet clients, and that's a target. No, that's not a marketing. That's sales. No, that's marketing. Whatsoever. Anyways, so I always went into diversification is a problem with me, and it's the biggest problem. And I love this problem that I get bored with one thing. I get bored easily with one job. I could not stay in one organization for like 1.5 years, least, if I would say. My work, my maybe my the the structure of my brain is like join, learn, perform, leave. Join, learn, perform, leave. What's next? What's next? What's next? So when the COVID hit me, I was like, okay, sooner or later we'll be coming back to our routine. And I was like, I don't see something is coming to my way in events, and I'm more of the event side. I do nourish that. I do have aesthetic art designing and everything. I like that, but again, it's more of a communication work that you have to do in events. It's more of a stressing work that you have to get things done. And when it comes to a corporate event, it's entirely a different ballgame because you need to give it back as an ROI to your corporate client. So, but this Armia thing, and of course, I did this 9 modules about Amazon AWS Cloud. Completed that. So I was like, okay, fine. What I'm gonna do with this? But then, if I would see as being in sales, I don't know. I don't really want to get into the details. I just know how this works, how flight takes off. What is the right time to pull the trigger? What is the right time to say, okay, fine, we are ready to take off? So it's more of like this. So, and whenever whoever is calling me for the business strategy and telling me that, okay, what is the problem with us? Actually, we are an IT company and we don't get technical salespeople. I was like, technical salespeople? Like, what do you want? Do you want technicians or do you want sellers? We need people who understand technical side. A seller is a good communicator. He doesn't need to understand your bits of, the non-technical people are actually the one who's selling more products in IT. It's okay. And he just got over and he was like, oh, I'll talk to you later. Listen, dude, you need to pay me now. So,
well, sometimes it depends. If it's, let's say, company who's selling cloud businesses, so why they require technical people who have some information. I mean, I don't know why they call them technical actually, because they are actually not technical. They just have the knowledge, the technical knowledge. That is
I just complete my Python and Java courses from Coursera, and then I did this Amazon AWS, and I was like, okay, I understand. I am a technical. I got the technical sales now. I can show this off to people. But again, it's the same thing that I have to do, is to communicate with people. Simple. So.
But see, it's like sometimes it's really important for a technical person to be on the job, because the client also need to really go deep. Then it might be a person you require. Otherwise, you can give someone a training. That's perfectly fine. And put them in sales. You don't need technical salespeople in everything. So I don't know.
I don't need my Phoolwala, my florist to understand how the flower.
No, you need to understand how the flower fragrance comes in and how it
what time
sprouts
it blooms. What is the right time for the sun and from which shadow he'll get its nurturing light. Yes. I just want my flower to put it in the stage and get things done and make other people get married. So okay, my which is actually my question to you. Depending on your answer, do you believe that there's the right time to start
with Pakistan and Europe? So in Europe, people think they think a lot on ideas. They take their ample time, but obviously not too much. And they then go to certain mentors. They have venture capitalists, people to invest if they don't have money. And there are certain tech companies who actually, now in COVID, they are doing very less events. But usually like for example, in Rotterdam, there's a city next to Hague where I live. Uh, every Wednesday, so venture capital, there is a venture capitalist company which actually onboard venture capitalists.
Okay.
So it's a venture cafe. Yeah, so it's a venture cafe Rotterdam. Every Wednesday they do a session. Like you go there, you drink, you meet people, you share ideas and everything. Every Wednesday they do this because it's social gathering. And then you meet people, you share ideas. You can come up with something you never know. And then you can onboard with them. They will find venture capitalists for you. They have a lot of venture capitalists in the pool. So this is how it is. It works here. In Pakistan, actually, there definitely you need to look into because the dynamics are totally different.
Yeah.
The thought process is totally different. So you need to look what you are launching and when you are launching for sure. For startups, because you run with less revenue or with less investment, and there is no expectancy of revenue immediately. So you really need to pick your time. It's not like you can just launch anytime. Like in Europe, you can definitely launch almost anytime. Yes, if you would say like I would launch a food business at the beach in winter, obviously it doesn't make sense because in Europe, in winter beach food scene is not there.
Yeah.
So you need to look certain things, obviously, but it's not like if you want to launch a restaurant, you can launch anytime. If you want to launch anything, any service-based company, you can launch anytime. I think in current world, IT-based businesses, because everything is going digital, I don't see any restriction in launching if you launch it perfectly well.
Very true. Okay, how about there's been so lucky in COVID that still opened their offices, still could paying employees, still be able to give the jobs. Yeah, I'm thankful for this country as well, and I'm thankful to the people who understands the need. And I'm very humble, and I would say that if the second COVID comes in, it's going to be unjustified act with the companies who are actually taking care of our people. And we do need to understand vice versa. Our employees should understand, similarly about the employers. But at the same point, I really want the employers who are actually looking for the jobs. The core is to start their own businesses. So my actual question is, which I can now clearly speak about it. Why people complain about Pakistan when they move abroad?
Well, I have heard it from you mostly, complaining about Pakistan. Yes. Yes,
No, it's not like that.
It is a big factor. People who just move out. I mean, actually, people who just got the visa, they started talking bad shit. To be honest, I have
Why?
seen people.
Why?
I don't. It's again mindset. It totally. See, everything comes down to how your thinking process works.
I
And it's
think
societal.
Pakistan is one of the safest country to start your startup. To begin with something new.
Well, I disagree.
Why? Because
disagree.
in Europe or in any other side, it's pretty tough to start the businesses.
Yes,
Isn't it?
it is tough to start business. I understand. Definitely, yes. But if you start it, you have facilities. You don't have to look into. See, I'm not saying because it's a welfare state. Well, we put up on two different actually questions. Let's talk about first the business part. It's difficult in terms of you need to get in competition in Europe. I'm talking about you need to get in competition, but it's easier in terms of you can get investors, you can get mentors. You don't have to look into taxes. So if you're a startup, a lot of taxes you don't have to pay. It depends on obviously startup how big you're going. So yes, we do. In Europe, there are a lot of facilities. Now coming back to Pakistan, unfortunately we cannot give all the facilities. But actually we are not working on any of the facilities. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that is it is more difficult. I started my own company in 2016. I started in August. In November, well, actually, officially I started in October. In November, there was a tax person right in front of out of my office door. Sir, you have to pay tax. What tax?
This happened
This
with me.
commercial tax.
Yeah, this happened with me. I had this
So see,
experience.
you are. See,
So,
so the thing is, it's not about 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees. No, it's not about that. It's about you are giving a pressure. You are telling people, see, you start business, you start paying us, whether you earn or not. So that's a pressure you are building on startups from day one.
Yeah.
How would anyone start? Tell me. You need to give relaxation to people who are bringing ideas and who can really build up different businesses and boost the economy. Give them relaxation. Give them the mind, the relaxation of mind, so that they can work on their idea. That is something which is being done here. They take here in Europe, it's 50% of the tax of the salary. If a salaried person is there, you pay 50%, actually more sometimes. I mean, literally 50% is, if you think about it, if you're earning 1,000 euros, give away 500. So if you think, like, my half of my salary is gone, but in return what you have is far more better. So that is, people are not actually protesting about. They are willing to pay because they know they are getting it back. So if you are taking taxes there, give it. That needs to be done.
Because everything is getting so initial, like this is my chat and this is my this, and I can type a right message to that person. So I have a lot of audience on my LinkedIn, but the thing that I am getting right responses is from not from Pakistan, outside of Pakistan. And it's pretty hard to deliver the message what exactly we're supposed to do until unless we have to, I don't know what are the other ways. So these are my very pretty vocal complaint. Like, I am coming back to your question, like as being a woman working in these countries, that's why I just said it's really hard, because everything could count in anything, and it's not with only me. It could be anybody who are working in an organization. It could be any celebrity as well. So
yeah, that's true.
So this is what the entire scenario, if you would say about, others. I'm pretty happy that I'll be able to work with a lot of professionals who made me grow, because I have not traveled anywhere so far. They made me grow. But there are another skin as well of the body of this country, that who can see you, can talk about you, but cannot do anything about you. So I think we don't need to care about them. Again, my next and the last question is, maybe the second last, is what message would you like to give to clients in the respective of startups? How would they and how could they support a startup so that the startup can grow into a company, and that company can be able to sustain and be able to add some value with the people in this country or in any country?
Well, I think our topic should change from technology and business to mindset.
Yes.
To be honest, because see, everything comes down to how you are perceiving things, thinking, and acting. It is all about in there. It's your mindset. It's your societal mindset. Actually, it's not just one person we are talking about. It's everywhere. What your question is actually, yes, I would definitely like people who give work or who would like to get engaged with startups. There are two reasons for people who engage with startups in Pakistan. They save money, because if they go on with bigger organizations, they have to pay more. Yeah. So saving money is one factor for them. The other factor is they think, again, that's wrong, but again, they think because they can mold the freelancers or startups as per their requirement more than the established companies. Now, what I would like to say to them is basically they should not treat startups like, because they are actually declining the fact that these are startups and they need to grow. If they started treating them like this, they will never be able to grow. So they have to give, for example, I tell you what, I give you a very different example. Before this call, I was having a call with a company with which I'm working in UK. So this the CEO actually, he said we are building actually a certain platform, so we need to change something. Because I look into the UI and UX of this whole platform. So I said it should be this way, and now he wanted it to be another manner. For example, we had certain categories, like we have project, and then we have milestones, and then we have tasks within that milestones. We wanted to create something in the milestones, the facility for companies to put up milestones or tasks in between. Like for example, if a milestone is started, we have the facility to put something in between for the interns or for the students to do. And it's not good practice, because if I have taken that work on that specific milestone, I know there are 4 tasks, then I have scheduled my 4 tasks. If you, in the middle of the project or in the middle of the milestone, you put a 5th task, it's unscheduled, and then my reputation, because I'm not going to fulfill it, it is not in my schedule, my reputation is on stake. So it's not good practices. So that's what I communicated that, see, we need to address good practices and tell the companies that they should do it this way. And it's not only in Pakistan companies don't act on good practices. Here also in Europe, it happens a lot. It's just because in the face things are different. People who have not encountered it think, oh, everything is so bright, everything is so good. No, there is racism. There is a lot of racism on the basis of not only color, on the basis of language. It's under the carpet.
What about the accents?
It's not right in front. Sorry?
What about the accents?
Well, also. Yes, also. So it's like, but obviously it is not right on your in your face. It is right there, but it's subtly there, but it's not on the face, and that's why it's not been encountered. But also, you look, a lot of human rights organizations are here in European countries and in America and other places, because these things happen here a lot. So what I would say or suggest to clients who are approaching startups, they need to be more humble towards it. Fine, they are getting a decrease in the price or the cost they're going to incur, then they should give them the facility to do things as they want to bring a change in the best practices.
I think how I grew MA events is I never took MA events as a startup from the very first day. I was pretty vocal about it. It's a company, and there are clients who used to say, oh my god, it's just you're the only person who's working here, calling yourself a company. I was like, yeah, I'm a company, that's why you talk to me. I have a face value, that's why you talk to me. You like to talk to me, maybe that's why you talk to me. Still, I'm a company. You know, that was the main reason, and I'm being very vocal about it. So,
well, I would say, well, it's good, you are successful, it's nice, but also on the other hand, as startups also need to look, to be honest, it's as I said, it's vice versa. Startups also need to look into how you need to train your customer, actually, to be honest, to coach them, what needs to communicate.
Okay, let me tell you the reality of the clients, because every client, there are memes as well now making from US, and there are some sales humor and sales memes are happening, that when your client knows more what you know about them, they know more about you than what you know about them. And it's pretty funny that wherever I go, and even if I go to meet someone that uncle and that auntie knows everything about everything. And similarly, one of my friends over here, he was from Canada, and he was like, Vanessa, everybody knew everyone. Even if I ask for a plumber, so I'm asking for a specific plumber, but that person will say, I can manage and fix it. And I was like, okay, fine, that's cool. No, that's not cool. Let the right person do the right job. Similarly, when I go and talk to my client, there are very few people who would say, that's your work, do it. And I do understand this thing. If my manager knows how to manage the content and the strategies and everything, it's just me who made the content, gave it so that she could post. She understands how to do that. And I don't poke my nose in her work. You know, if because I need to understand the potential of other person. But over here, everyone knows about everything. So I would not blame, but I would say a startup and a CEO, even if it's a startup, stop considering it as a startup, because sooner or later you have to grow. And the very next thing that I want clients to understand, because we are having this session and it's a pretty raw session, I really want clients to give some of their toughest job to those ventures who just got into the industry, so that they have versatility.
That's true.
I want, if I've gone into the industry of events, I want the higher events and the bigger scale, so that I could at least experiment my skill set, because I trust myself. I'm not saying to give me the biggest event, whatever the tier 1 people are doing, no, but at least experience my skill set, so that the next person can grow. Again, whether it's a client, whether it's anybody else, it's a vice versa communication and support that can grow other people as well.
That's true.
This is from, that's the only thing that was happening from my end, and I shared with you. Anything else from you, Stan? I think I don't know.
See, I want to, in a nutshell, I would like to say that with the startups, we as a nation in Pakistan, we need to have certain organization, like whether you call them venture capitalists, whether you call them IOs, whether you call them angel investors, I don't care. There needs to be certain organizations put forward or come forward with an intention that startups can reach them, get some mentorship, guidance, and if necessary, investment. These organizations are not difficult to find. You don't have to invest money. There should be an organization who have more network across the globe, probably, or in Europe. They can bring in money. There are a lot of venture capitalists sitting in Europe. You can bring those on board if you have enough network, and those organizations can help startups build startups in Pakistan. So that is I think needs to be done. It's the change which we really need.
Good session, Hammad, and thank you for joining. And I think we must have bits and bits about upcoming sessions, so that we can add more value in people. And thank you so much for joining me. So
thank you so much.
Let's just wrap up.
Yeah.
Look forward.
Because